I don't know about you, but I'm tired of our elected representative of all stripes playing politics with important issues instead of doing something about them. Case in point, the Online Harms Bill. So, what's Bill 63 about? Well, according to Justice Minister Arif Virani, the government is targeting the most serious, harmful content online. He says it targets the worst of what we see online, content that sexually victimizes children or re-victimizes survivors. Intimate content shared without consent. Content that incites violence, extremism, or terrorism, or foments hatred. And content that is used to bully a child or induce a child to self-harm. Now, simply put, this includes the sexual exploitation of children and content that incites violence and promotes hatred or violent extremism, cyberbullying, and the non-consensual distribution of intimate images and content. Now, why he inserts the words regarding violence, extremism, terrorism, and hatred in the middle of protection of children and victims is curious to me. He insists that it does not undermine freedom of speech, but why then surround it with the protection of children and victims? Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre immediately pounced on the bill, saying he believes Trudeau is going to target online speech. Now, he claims the intent is, and I quote from a February 27 CBC article, Justin Trudeau's latest attack on freedom of expression, part of a woke authoritarian agenda that would see Trudeau ban unacceptable views. Sheesh. Talk about some performative language being espoused by a populist agenda. But unsurprisingly, this was said 5 days before the bill was even tabled. But let's assume it turns out his statement has no basis in fact, and even if censorship is not the aim of this government, there is still a concern that if legislation to control hate speech is enacted that doesn't have proper guardrails, a future administration may well abuse it. And I believe that given this administration's history of incomplete legislation and the current political landscape, that is indeed a legitimate concern. The sources say that the bill includes very narrow limitations for the takedown of online material. Those include images of child sexual abuse and the non-consensual sharing of images and intimate content. Now, that sounds pretty clear, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the protection of children and the victims of so-called revenge porn is something we can all agree on. But what constitutes hate speech and how to deal with it is another matter entirely. Does the fact that hate speech is part of this bill indicate an ignorance of the possible ramifications? Or is it placed there as a political ploy to make it look like any opposition to the bill could be used to accuse the opposers of not wanting to keep kids safe? Is it simply another case of performative politics? Now, as you've seen, including hate speech in the bill creates an avenue for naysayers to accuse the government of trying to control free speech. Is it possible that, in this case, hate speech is actually a red herring that can be used to induce other parties to agree to the balance of the bill simply by removing it? Or is it possible that Poilievre is correct and it is actually a failed attempt to include the ability to impose restrictions on any dissenting opinions? Look, there's a simple way to alleviate this problem with this bill. I mean, really. I think the way to proceed with Bill 63, the Online Harms Bill, is to sever the sections on hate speech, and if the Liberals are indeed serious about enacting that, bring it back as a piece of legislation of its own, created maybe by an all-party committee. Something with agreed upon safeguards in place to ensure it cannot be used improperly. So, in short, yes, present the bill to protect children and the victims of non-consensual sharing of images and intimate content, but do it as its own standalone bill. Remove the hate speech sections to deal with another time on its own. Now, can we set aside our partisan politics long enough to create this protective legislation? Let me know what you think. Add a comment below. Oh, and please keep all comments respectful, and please refrain from, pointing fingers and pushing conspiracy theories. Now, while you're here, please like and share the video, subscribe to my channel, and then click the bell so you get notified when new videos are uploaded. In the meantime, stay safe and enjoy your day. I'm wishing you peace, health, and harmony. Bye for now.